going on YouTube? My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be starting a video documentary series about doing an SRT4 engine swap into a 2013 Subaru BRZ. I actually completed the swap a little bit over a year ago. I had a collision with a deer that not only damaged the car, but also part of the drivetrain. For anybody that's curious, this is what can happen to your transmission, potentially, if you hit a deer and the deer happens to go under the car and breaks the drive shaft flange, the yoke off of the transmission, and your drive shaft starts slinging the thing in at however many RPM while you're going down the road. In my case, the drive shaft basically tore the shifter extension off of the transmission, and here's some of the aftermath of that. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to give you some insight into how I did this swap, what was required as far as custom fabrication or parts that bolt together to make this work. For engine management, I used a Haltech Elite 2500 ECU. I've loved that. It's very versatile and has allowed me to do everything I wanted to do with this car, including keeping all the factory functions and features. It's traction control, cruise control, utilize the electronic power steering. So I've acquired an identical 2013 Subaru BRZ, same color, similar mileage, had a rod knocking engine. I pulled that out, and I've removed my SRT drivetrain from the original car. So we're going to get underway, and as we do that, I'm going to start showing you guys the different steps in this process and how I made this work. To my knowledge, this is the only SRT4 swap in a BRZ or FRS, any variant of the twins in the world. So I pioneered this, and I've had to make everything as I go. There are no SRT4 engine swap kits for any car, especially not for rear-wheel drive cars. So just a quick rundown of some of the things that made this work. I used a 2003 Jeep Wrangler 2.4 liter bell housing. That bell housing bolts to the SRT4 engine block and bolts to either an R154 Toyota Supra transmission or an AR5 GM transmission that came in the Pontiac Solstice, Saturn Sky, and a variety of other things. I personally chose the AR5 for my swap because it was a lot cheaper than the R154s, and they're actually capable of holding a little bit more power and a little bit less fragile. They have a triple cone synchros for some of the gears, so it's a little bit more robust and more cost effective than the Toyota R154. They're virtually identical on the outside as far as interchangeability for what you can use. The flywheel that I used, as mentioned, was a 2.4 Jeep flywheel, dual mass. I've since converted that to a single mass flywheel. On that flywheel, we're using a GM clutch, disc, and diaphragm from a 2000 Chevy S10. That 2.2 liter clutch diaphragm is a direct bolt up to the Jeep flywheel. There are some modifications you have to make it work, and they're very simple. You just have to pull the locating dowels from the flywheel, and then the bolt pattern lines up exactly perfectly. There is no pilot bearing option for that transmission going onto this motor, but I was able to make something that did the job perfectly. One of the other things that I had to fabricate myself were engine mounts and drive shaft. Those worked out great until the incident with the deer. So I'm gonna have to remake those, and that's gonna provide a great opportunity to show you guys how I did that. This time I'm making two drive shafts though. I'm making one piece drive shaft, and I'm gonna have a second two-piece drive shaft. This will be the first time I've made a two-piece drive shaft, so it's gonna be a learning curve for me as well. And the reason I'm doing that is because I would like to have a drive shaft that is a little bit quieter for just street driving, and then something I can swap out for track use that's gonna be a little bit more rugged and durable. So this is the engine that I built for this swap. It's got forged pistons and rods, and it's bored 20 thousandths over. We used Crowler Stage 2 cams and CX Racing brand turbo. I read a lot of different mixed reviews about this thing, and some people think that they're okay, some people hate them. After having this turbo on the car for a year, I made 420 horsepower on a 93 pump gas, so I have no complaints. we'll get it done. Hopefully it'll be some good content for you guys. If this inspires anybody to start your own project similar to this, feel free to reach out to me with any questions about the parts combinations. I'll try to cover as much as possible and be as informative as I can. Inevitably, I'm probably going to forget a few things, but I'll try to be as meticulous as I can and document as much as possible as I begin this process of fixing what needs to be fixed, replacing what needs to be replaced, and taking each part out of the old car and then putting it in the new car. That'll give me a good opportunity to touch base on pretty much the majority of this process and what it takes to make this swap work. That's it for this update. Until next time, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.